Namaskar. Indeed, we are in the best of times. If only we had the technology of what we saw presented by Balaji and Vijay, you would have saved crores of rupees. I would like to cite to him the mention of a temple he made in Vrindavan, Kaya Sagar. Just for 60 years it came to light. And that was taken up by a friend of mine, Hari Kodi. As a private enterprise, they moved the whole temple into a new place, and we had to go through extraordinary effort to mark it and move it. Stone by stone, and you would see the replication of the original temple taking shape. Another example what I can give about the last presentation is that there is one more temple coming up in Tirumala. It's probably at the border of Andhra. Again, the trust is taken up to build temple on the lines of the old Ghazal, architecture, and you would be surprised to know that they had to get the drawings not from any Indian architect. It was one from Adam Miller, UK Cardiff University. And the effort that they have put to redraw every pillar and column is, I've seen a firm doing it. I wish, if this technology comes, it would make it easier and easier. Is it all right now? You understand? It would be easier, and that's why I would say that at the best of time, and we should make use of this technology. Yantra, Tantra, Mantra is all that we have in the temple below. Friends, I landed on at Vijayawada in the evening yesterday. And I love this word, congregation, because all our functions we say congregation, consecration and celebration. When an individual congregates, he doesn't congregate just to meet and get away. It's not a fancy meeting. A congregation leads to consecration. We are trying to do something global, and when these two get together, it can be nothing but celebration. So also, one of the most beautiful things when you come to this sort of function is that you meet the right sort of people. You get connected to people, not by years of association. If it has to happen, it will happen like flash of lightning. Then you have a common purpose. I remember Ghazal coming to Bangalore, then 2 scores of years. He had come to release a book called Ghazal, which we released in Bangalore, authored by his guru, who also is my guru, and we were common shishyas. And with this Ghazal, he dazzled, he sparkled, but we stood as good friends. We always communicated with each other, and you have seen what's the sort of emotion that he has. And through his emotion, what is the emotion he can give? He can also create emotion, but always he has contributed to the positive side of the life, and that's what binds him into him. Yesterday by driving, now I could see beside the same temple, he's fire with Swachha Bharat. He wants to make the whole part of it, clean. And that reminds me of what I had written a long time back in Canada. Now, Devasthanam Sevasthana, our Sevasthana Devasthanam. Whatever we do, wherever we do, we should do it with the attitude that it is sacrosanct and it is temple. Friends, we can go on talking about temples. I think Balaji has covered very well about the structures of temple. And temple is very clear, it's not just a place of worship. It has a greater purpose. It has to become a cultural force in the true essence of the term. It has to become a fountain of new ideas. It should become a center for intellectual advancement. And it is a place where people come to synthesize the best part of the human. It could be art, it could be culture, it could be any other thing that's given as an offer to connect themselves to the higher purpose of life, that's the divine. We can go on talking about it, but then I would like to share. I would like to share 4 sentences which was written by Will Durant after writing 5,000 pages of history. He made a statement that eventually the West will have to look to the East for for they are blessed with both qualities. I would love to say this poetry written by Tirumala. The first one he said, tolerance and gentleness of the mature mind, calm of the compassionate spirit, quiet content of an unacquisitive soul. And the fourth one he made is unifying and pacifying love for all living beings. Friends, all these things, all these four qualities can be ingrained and learned from the portals of the temple. And that is the beauty of the temple that we all are so enamored of and that we have to learn. It need not be just a place like happens in other religions that they go for prayer. The temple is not being just a building for prayer. I would like to further tell you about the temples and how it can become a center for plantations. And we all believe that temple is a place where there is cosmic energy and it is available to everyone to experience. And the powerful spiritual vibrations present in this place are so palpable that even the casual visitor can feel its effect in the form of peace, bliss, or clarity. Whereas we know that temples we have to strive to maintain a clean and pure, a scientific atmosphere. Of course, we have given a temple a primordial place, and we believe that it is a link between man, deities, and the universal Purusha in a sacred space. But also we know that temple is a place for pilgrimage. It is not for tourists just to come and see. It is to connect for a greater purpose. It is a sacred site whose ambience and design attempts to symbolically condense the tenets and the Hindu way of life. It also triggers all our senses. That is another beauty about the temple, that it triggers our senses to a heightened elevation and an elation. Of course, we know that the temples need to have vanas around it. It is possible to create, and just sharing with sister that in the 125 acres of new temple that has come up just a few days back, they have given lot of prominence to gardens around it, and that's a new mode. We have to follow even in the old temples wherever there is space and possible. Because we know that woods by itself plays a role of bioenergy. And when we talk about woods or the trees, there is only one statement made by Rabindranath Tagore which encompasses everything that we have to convey about it. He said woods or the trees of the woods, it's a column, it's a pillar of power, it's a dome of delight, it's a shrine of song, it's a joy of sight, and he also went on to say it's an arch in the temple of God. Every temple that you see, we see a divine force in it. And Bhadravani was to say, these are the prayers of my soul. These are the prayers. That is what we offer to Mother Earth. And I also learned one thing, as Srinivasa was saying, temple is the soul elemental. I would like to add one thing and say, it is not only soul elemental, charger, it is the soul charger. That is the place that really we can get charged to do some greater things. Of course, we always had sacred groves all around the temples. Sacred groves plays an extraordinary role. And in Japan, there is a thing called as forest park. When a man is disturbed, he is pushed into a park called forest park, and they have made scientific evidence, divine evidence to show that the chemistry of the person changes if he is in the forest for a time, for a particular point of time, maybe 15, 20, 30 minutes. That's why they say that 30 minutes around a sacred grove will give you a new insight to life. Because I don't want to talk about the architecture and location and go on. Because we worship trees as Vriksha Devata, forests as Manadevata, mountains as Giri Devatas, rivers as goddesses. That's why we have all of the river names named after the kind deity, cow and cat for the literary utility. I'm sure there will be a lot more people who will be able to share that thing. But I'd like to share one example of what we did in Dharmic when we had 39 spiritual gurus joined together for one common cause, that is to plant and to plant. Through these committees, we were able to effectively plant as much as 4 crore saplings, in which now we find that people who were part of the trust have branched out on their own and doing extraordinary work. One name I can mention is Sri Ravi Shankar, who was part of the Vansamardana Trust. Now he has got a wonderful team which takes up work on the study of rivers all over the country. Right now I think they are addressing as many as 21 rivers. And that's the strength of the spiritual gurus. And that's the strength of the temples which harbors these spiritual. Of course, you know that our Hindu life, forests were the dwellings of the rishis and of spiritual seekers. And the hermitages were set apart from the preoccupations of the worldly life. We can go on talking about the virtues of each of the three. Each of the three has got its own virtues. And there are trees which are called as sacred trees, like Michael's religious people trees. Now they have made a study that even in the night it releases oxygen. And during the I'm sure this building I was just sharing with the Joint Commissioner here. You see the building, the front of this building. How much you have spent on this building. There's one beautiful neem in the front. Thankfully they have not cut it off. But that has added a lot of value to it. And I think that the aesthetics we can increase only by planting. And in this temple, the heritage location adds on this new dimension of planting. We can bring in a new site to the heritage temples, and it is for us all together to make it happen. We have always seen that when the forces get together and we have a common purpose, we can bring in a change. I would really like to conclude by saying that I am so happy with the call that I got on 11th of May, not long ago, from the government of Telangana. They wanted to have an insight as to how the sea balls are being made. We had a presentation given to the forest officer the first day and the 11th May, and now today, within the lapse of the last 3 months, the magic has happened there. There have got crores and crores, and even the program what they are planning to plant on a massive scale is going to contribute to our environment and again is the main purpose of our heritage. And I only wish that the forces that I see, the institutions that I see all around us, join together and see how we can usher in a beautiful country. And as Srinivasa always says, that whatever I am doing is for the future. And when I go to the school that we have started recently, I always say that until we nurture our future, we have no future. And to nurture that future, we have to nurture our nature. And to nurture that nature, we have to inculcate this culture that is found only in the Hindu temples or the Indian temples. And let's all get together and make it happen to have a very beautiful country of ours. Thank you so much.